Yo, what's going on, people in the pub? That's definitely that guy. It's not Locks. It's not Locks. And this is Kazu'S, a Japanese snowboarder from Japan, obviously. Been requested by me. I wanted to do the video on this guy. So, score one for Team Not Locks. Today, you guys are watching my request. So, stay tuned, stay subscribed. This is the best in Not Lock content. Kazuhiro Kukobo is a Japanese snowboarder who has won multiple medals in international events. US Open Halfpipe 2010, 2011, age 27, August 16th, 1988. Dude does have some pretty crazy locks. Let's see what they're about. I mean, starting off this video, right, Kazu, professional snowboarder from Japan, has the crazy tricks and the crazier hair during his peak. I remember hearing about this guy in the Olympics of 2010, and he came out with his pants sagging and his tie undone, and he caused quite an upstir for the Olympic community. But if you look at this picture here, we do notice that he has a fro, an Asian fro, and it's not often you see afros on the Asians, which is interesting because at first glance here, if you notice his locks, well, lack of locks, is actually just straight hair in this photo. So he went from straight hair to an afro to somehow having dreads. And if you're wondering, like I'm wondering how this happened, I came across quite the exploration and discovery on this dread review I gotta share. More notably, Kazu's locks were looking like this, very thick, very blunted, very voluminous actually. And you ask yourself, if you're Asian, am I able to get dreads? The answer, of course, is yes, but it is a question I've been asked many times in the past, and I'm wondering if Kazu was also thinking about this, because he did take another approach at the dread game where he didn't freeform, he didn't really interlock, but he did do something that was really interesting, and I'm going to get to that photo in a minute here. This was the picture of him coming out in the Olympics with his shirt untucked. Very unprofessional of him to be representing his country like this, apparently, but apparently not, because this is the style for snowboarder. This is the personality of snowboarders. Shouldn't really matter how he came out at the Olympics, to be honest. But if you do notice, his locks are about neck length, quite the good length for anyone in the lock game. At this length, you do not have any weight issues on your neck or on your scalp. This picture here with him raking the park, you can see like a little bit of a rubber band happening on this one lock by his chin, probably because he needed to seal the end. I mean, not to say this dude was free-forming at all, but he was definitely manipulating his hair into place for these dreads to occur. Now, the reason why I thought his locks were quite strange was this picture here. This is obviously day one of Kazu's dreads, and Kazu's hair, you can see, has been braided with synthetic hair. Basically fake dreads have been added to his real hair to enhance the thickness of his locks, and it took me minutes to really realize what was going on here, because the synthetic hair is so shiny, braided in with the hair that's already there. And I was wondering how his locks were so thick, and this is the very next photo that I found of the dude, and you can still see the braids in the hair. It's just that the braids have been left in for them to dread together, and this is the braid lock look, people. Braid locks, dreadlocks from braids. This is it specifically, and he's used synthetic hair to really enhance the volume of these locks and the thickness of these locks more specifically. Now, as time does go on, the locks will start to mature and dread into the fake hair. So, I mean, it is an approach to take if you do want to have locks more instantly and you don't want to interlock your hair. I've seen this done before. I've seen mainly white girls add extensions to their hair and dread from there. Not to say I have also seen black women doing the same thing and black guys doing the same thing. So it's something that's been widespread across all ethnicities, to be honest. Personally, there's nothing wrong with adding extensions to your hair, but just do note, you can't go around really saying, oh, these are my real dreads, if there's not all your real dreads in there. And I find that did happen quite often with people with synthetic dreads. They walk around like it's their real hair. And that's just a false sense of pride, a false sense of confidence, really. So just be careful. I mean, you got to be open with people, or maybe not. I mean, if someone calls out your weave, don't deny it. Just accept it. Who cares if it's a weave? It's just weird seeing weaves on guys, I guess. This was Kazu'S hair before the game. He had a shaved head, as you can tell. And as of recently, he has already cut his locks off. So the iconic dreads of Kazu are gone. But he isn't rocking the shaved head anymore. Another photo here, we can really see the blunted tips happening. I do like seeing the snow in people's dreads because it's really contrasting. It really makes for great photos. Unfortunately, it does make for great mildew growth if you leave that water in your dreads from the snow. As fun and as playful as it is, dry your hair after playing in the snow, dry your hair after playing in snowboarding, skiing, whatever it is you do in the winter, because if you let that settle in there, it can be a perfect grounds for mold to grow. Like so in this picture, Kazu'S dreads actually have a lot more length at this point. Do notice the snow everywhere. He must have wiped out in the powder. And do note the new growth is quite frizzy and unmaintained at this point, but his locks are like near perfect. So it just goes to show that they have been manipulated and then kind of freeform from there. But I think the crochet hook would have been heavily involved at this point as well. But photos like this do show that his dreads did really come around 360, full return. Locks looking really great here at this point. The two frontal locks could be thicker in terms of like more plentiful dreads over there, like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 dreads at the front. Do note that some of his tips have been bleached and dyed. But you would see that there's no manipulation, no scarring, no twisting, no interlocking really. New growth is actually fresh hair. And the cool thing about having dreads in snowboarding is those dreads fly when he flies. And it really does make for a more memorable character. If you are a competitor, if you are a professional athlete at all, people will see that you stand out because of your dreads, and it does take a little bit more practice to stay on top of your game with your dreads out like so please do keep on practicing. Another shot here with all the snow and Kazu'S dreads. This is probably at the peak of his dread career. The length never really got any further than this, any further than his chest. His hair nowadays more just clean cut, slicked back. But it is cool to have the dreads, and it makes for great photos when you get it in the snow or in the mud, and just getting them dirty in general. It really makes for great art. But Kazu did have some serious locks in the game holding it down. More so today, shaved head, keeping it real clean, real simple. Big ass dogs, bloodhounds. Man, that one on the left looks freakishly large. G-bus. Again here with a little bit more growth in the shaved head, just basically slicked back, clean cut. Eventually people get tired of the dreads. They're not forever for everybody. Some people will never stop growing their dreads. Some people will go through the phase. So it was cool that he spent a thorough 5, 6, 7 years with his locks. I wonder if he'd ever do it again. I wish I could ask him in person. But until the meantime, I've just been checking out his Instagram. You guys can go check it out and go check out his videos online. He's quite the snowboarder in the backcountry. And again here, another picture of him holding a what looks to be zucchini or a pumpkin squash of some sort. And that does look deliciously vegan. But yeah, This is knotlocks. I'm gonna sign off. You know that I have new videos here every single day. Also on my vlog channel. Go over there and subscribe. Links in the description below. And do go check out the Instagram page for Knot Nation and send me your photos so I can put you on this show. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. One love. Knot Nation salutes. Holla back, son.